Vermont, a land of rolling hills, fiery autumns, and the rugged Green Mountains. These mountains gave Vermont its name, meaning Green Mountain in French. The landscape shaped Vermonters, strong, independent, and deeply connected to the land. For centuries, the mountains have watched over a story of resilience and a fierce love of freedom. Long before statehood, Vermonters stood up for their homes, forming their own republic for 14 years. This spirit of self-reliance is alive today, seen in small towns where neighbors help neighbors. Vermont has always charted its own course, leading the nation in new ideas, outlawing slavery, protecting the environment, and fighting for rights. Its progressive spirit is rooted in fairness, community, and protecting the land for future generations. Vermont proves a small state can have a big impact by staying true to its values. Let's journey into Vermont's past, meeting its first people, witnessing settlers' struggles, and discovering how a unique identity was forged. This is the story of Vermont: land, people, and the enduring belief in a better world. Independence, community, and hope. These are Vermont's legacy. Join us as we explore the remarkable history of the Green Mountain State. From ancient forests to modern progress, Vermont's story is one of courage and conviction. The heart of Vermont beats with the promise of freedom. This is Vermont. Long before Europeans, Vermont was home to the Western Abenaki. They called their land Ndakina, our land, and lived in harmony with forests, rivers, and mountains. Skilled hunters, fishers, and farmers, the Abenaki moved with the seasons, following nature's rhythms. Their villages, built along rivers, grew corn, beans, and squash, the three sisters. They crafted birch bark canoes, stone tools, and woven baskets, passing down stories and wisdom by firelight. Family and community guided every decision, with elders offering counsel. The Abenaki believed all living things had spirit, taking only what they needed and preserving nature's balance. For generations, they thrived in familiar forests and abundant valleys. But change was coming from across the sea. New people, new ways, and a world forever altered. The arrival of Europeans would challenge everything the Abenaki knew. Their deep connection to the land would be tested. Vermont's story was about to enter a new chapter. In 1609, Samuel de Champlain, a French explorer, mapped the lake that now bears his name. His arrival marked the start of European influence in Vermont. Champlain's alliance with the Algonquin and Huron led to conflict with the Iroquois, deepening regional rivalries. For 150 years, Vermont was a frontier between French and British ambitions. The French built forts and allied with the Abenaki. The British pushed north, building their own strongholds. The Abenaki, caught in the middle, sided with the French to defend their homeland. Constant warfare disrupted Abenaki life, forcing many to flee. The French and Indian War ended in 1763, with Britain taking control. Peace was short-lived. British settlers soon eyed Vermont's fertile valleys. The struggle shifted from empires to colonies. Vermont's fate would now be shaped by new arrivals and new conflicts. The Green Mountains stood witness to it all. With the French gone, Vermont's land became a prize for settlers. But two colonies, New Hampshire and New York, claimed it. New Hampshire sold land grants. New York disputed them, sparking confusion and anger. Settlers, determined to defend their homes, formed the Green Mountain Boys, led by the bold Ethan Allen. They resisted New York's claims, using intimidation and sometimes force to protect their land. The Green Mountain Boys became legends, farmers and blacksmiths united by a common cause. Their defiance forged a new identity: Vermonters. New York declared Allen and his men outlaws, but locals saw them as heroes. This wasn't just about land, it was about the right to self-determination. The struggle against distant authority shaped Vermont's independent character. Soon, this spirit would lead them to declare a new country. The seeds of Vermont's independence were sown in these conflicts. A unique identity was taking root in the Green Mountains. The fight for land became a fight for freedom. Vermont was ready to stand alone. A new chapter was about to begin. As the revolution began, the Green Mountain Boys seized Fort Ticonderoga, proving their courage. Yet, Congress refused to recognize Vermont as a state. New York blocked their admission. Feeling betrayed, Vermonters declared independence in 1777, forming the Vermont Republic. Their constitution was groundbreaking, banning adult slavery, granting all men the right to vote, and championing equality. For 14 years, Vermont operated as its own nation. Government, currency, even foreign negotiations. Leaders like Ethan and Ira Allen protected Vermont's fragile independence. This era strengthened Vermonters' unique identity. They were not New Yorkers or New Hampshiremen. They were citizens of a free republic. Self-rule became the foundation of Vermont's character. The experience of independence would shape Vermont for generations. The Green Mountains had nurtured a bold experiment in liberty. Vermont's story was now one of a people governing themselves. The world was watching. After 14 years as a republic, Vermont's path to statehood cleared. New York relinquished its claims for $30,000, removing the final barrier. The nation needed a free state to balance Kentucky's entry as a slave state. Vermont, with its anti-slavery stance, was the perfect fit. On March 4, 1791, Vermont became the 14th state, the first to join after the original 13. Its unique history as an independent republic gave it special status. Statehood brought stability, growth, and prosperity. Vermont's independent spirit endured, carrying the legacy of the Green Mountain Boys and its progressive constitution. The 14th star on the flag represented a state small in size, but large in spirit. Vermont joined the Union on its own terms. Its values of freedom and self-reliance became part of the American story. The Green Mountains welcomed a new era. Vermont's journey continued. The 1800s transformed Vermont. Forests gave way to sheep farms. By the 1840s, over 1 million sheep grazed the hills. When wool prices fell, dairy farming rose, and Vermont became known for butter and cheese. Beneath the soil, marble, granite, and slate quarries flourished, drawing immigrants and shaping the state's economy. Vermont's stone built national monuments and landmarks. The Civil War tested Vermont's values, sending more soldiers per capita than any other northern state. Women ran farms and businesses, while men fought for the Union. The railroad connected Vermont to the nation, moving goods and people, ending rural isolation. Tourists arrived, drawn by mountain air and scenery. The 19th century was one of hard work and change. Vermont's land, people, and products helped build and defend a nation. The Green Mountains stood as silent witnesses to progress. Vermont's spirit endured. In November 1927, relentless rain triggered Vermont's worst disaster, the Great Flood. Rivers overflowed, destroying bridges, homes, and entire towns. Montpellier State House was flooded. Vermont was nearly cut off from the world. 84 lives were lost, including the lieutenant governor. In the aftermath, Vermonters didn't wait for help. They rescued neighbors, shared resources, and began rebuilding. Governor John E. Weeks declared Vermont would take care of its own. Recovery took years, leading to new flood control efforts. The flood left scars, but also revealed Vermont's resilience and unity. The disaster became a defining moment. Vermonters rebuilt stronger, their spirit shining in adversity. The Green Mountains had tested them, and they endured. Community, hard work, and self-reliance defined Vermont's response. The legacy of 1927 lives on. After World War II, Vermont changed again. Newcomers arrived, drawn by beauty and tranquility. Highways made travel easier. Returning Vermonters brought fresh ideas, sparking a powerful environmental movement. In 1970, Vermont passed Act 250, protecting land from unchecked development. Billboards were banned, preserving scenic views. Farmers embraced organic methods, creating a thriving local food movement. Farmers' markets flourished, connecting people to land and community. Vermont became a national model for sustainability. Politically, Vermont led with bold ideas, electing Bernie Sanders, pioneering civil unions, and legalizing same-sex marriage. These milestones reflected Vermont's values: fairness, equality, and liberty. Vermont remains a place where bold ideas take root. Its independent, progressive spirit endures. The story of Vermont continues, ever forward, ever free.